I feel like there's a decent chance I'll play the whole tournament. There's been many times where I late join these tournaments and don't really fight for first. But yeah, today might be different. I'll try and mix up the openings. If there's anyone that has opening requests, maybe I can try and satisfy some people.
4 nights Scotch maybe?
That's an opening you don't actually need to request. That's an opening I've been playing a lot without anyone asking me to play. I was going through a phase like after Qatar, but yeah, I can try and get a game with it today. Boring Slav, d4, d5, c4, c6. Oh, exchange Slav. Oh, what is this called? With bishop g5. It's not actually that boring. It's I thought this had like a more interesting name. Maybe there's like an unofficial name to this. I was preparing to play this against a grandmaster in Abu Dhabi, but I never actually played it. I have like a pretty extensive prep file on it. Maybe someday I'll manage to play it. Wait, what is the Falcon opening? I'm bad at remembering names. Ah, this one. The Maltese Falcon. The Weidenhagen Gambit. How bad is this one? Against anyone who plays knight f6, you can kind of just get that position. d5 is kind of strong. So take here, here, here. It's playable. And -1, but white has center. I'll probably play Mopple first round. Smith-Morra Gambit.
6, 5, 4, 3.
Okay, here we go.
2, 1, 0.
Playing Mopple. I mean, do I try it? I did no prep. Let me close out the analysis tab. Might be risky. Opponent has a decently high rating, but they're taking time here. So this is I guess this is a Weidenhagen Gambit, and then f3, e4 will be the Maltese Falcon variation. But d5, it's a playable move. I mean, I saw the engine recommendation briefly right before this game with f3 knight d6, and then I'll be on my own. So what to do here? Maybe knight c3.
I wish Twitch would show me when my Prime sub expires.
Oh yeah, you always have to be watching for the renewal opportunity.
Rosen live.
Thank you, Daniel Lindy. Also, thank you, the Modern Athena. Subbing with Prime for 9 months. Okay, so we have kind of a fresh position. Not an opening that you see every day. I think it's my first time playing such a position. Bishop f4 looks enticing. I mean, this actually resembles a Jobava London. Like, Jobava London, you play a combination of knight c3 and bishop f4. And very often in Jobava, you do go for the kingside expansion. So there might be some kind of transposition here. Okay, e6. So the knight does harmonize well with the pawns, but it blocks the development of this bishop. I guess bishop e7 is likely coming. So, I mean, h4 looks reasonable. e4 also is a consideration. I think I'll play h4 first, just to ensure that pawn's supported. And then I'm still not sure if I want to play e4 or e3. Thank you, Obese Reese. Happy 39 months. Another prime sub. Wow, so knight c4. Attacking b2. If I play b3... b3, there could be some issues with like queen a5 or bishop b4. If I play rook b1... Actually not so fond of rook b1, maybe queen c1. Because the problem with rook b1 is bishop b4 and knight takes b2 is not a threat. Maybe I have a3 there, but a3 there's knight takes a3. I mean, I really like to give away the b pawn and get counterplay. e4.
Happy holidays, Eric.
e4 takes queen b1. Happy holidays. Knight c4 take. I'm gonna have to play defense. b3, bishop b4, take. Doesn't work. That was a very annoying move to meet. What if e3? There's also knight a4 here, which looks a little bit ridiculous, but it does defend the pawn. I guess there's b5, b3. Take. I might go for this. It looks so wrong, but I mean, b5, b3 is the idea. And takes, I think is okay. Bishop b4, king f2. Queen a5, I have c3. Queen f5, c3, b5. b3, take. I'm calculating this. Knight c5 there. I guess b3, take. King f2. I'm potentially down 2 pawns, but maybe there's some compensation. I'm going to go for this. Burned a lot of time. Spent like 2 or 3 minutes on that move. This is what I get for playing a questionable opening. This seems like such a bad way to defend the pawn. Like, these moves were more natural, but the problem with the other lines was bishop b4, queen a5, and the knight just gets pinned. At least on this square, it doesn't get pinned. And there's many cases where b3 comes with tempo, or I play knight c5, maybe like Gambit the pawn. And I'm probably objectively worse, but at least black maybe has to make some tricky decisions. I do plan to play the marathon tournament tomorrow, so this is maybe some small preparation. Not sure how much of it I'll stream, but I'll try and stream at least a good portion. Oh, Bunny Cubes is asking, I have an OTB tournament tomorrow. What should I do for last minute preparation? Focus on physical and mental health. Sleep, eat healthy food, exercise. There's only so much you can like learn beforehand. It's more about trying to optimize your mental and physical state. Bishop d6 is probably a good move. Maybe I take and then king f2. It's not pretty, but what else to do? e3 doesn't really work. Queen c. The problem with queen c1 is then queen a5, and I don't have c3 to defend the knight. There's also knight h3, but knight h3 take. Knight e3, queen d2. I think I still prefer this. So I'm preventing, at least trying to prevent the knight or queen from infiltrating. Like if I get one more move in this position to play b3, then the position should be fine. But it's a question, can black generate threats with the queen and knight? Like queen f4 maybe threatens this or this.
I got a new car.
Hey, congratulations. Ross a boss. Was it a gift from someone else or a gift from you to yourself? That is exciting. I treat it well. So queen f4, queen d3, I think is the game plan. There's so many lines where black plays b5 and then I counterattack. Like in that line, I'd probably play e3 to counterattack the queen. h6. Okay, so now I think b3. Just attack the knight. Thank you, Zomac. Thank you, Jorgen Travel. I don't really want to take on b6, but what else to do? And there is e4. I can also maybe consider taking. Take rook takes knight c5. Yeah, it's not the best transformation. I feel like we've both been violating a lot of principles this game. I'm playing on both flanks. Very slow to develop. Moving the same piece twice. Black's also moving the same piece a lot of times. Like this knight started on g8 and went like this. h4 could be a target. e5 is probably a very good move. Concerning bishop h3. Take. Play e3. Bishop h3, take. There's also c3. Let's start with c3. I might have to take that.
Hope your holidays are going well.
They are. This game is not going so well, though. A lot of things to regret. I'm trying to neutralize. I feel like trades could maybe make me safer. Checking opponent's blitz rating. Queen g5. I'll go for it. Maybe some checks will come with tempo. Knight h3 idea. The one nice thing is that this knight is completely out of play. The focus is on the king side, where I still have my knight on this side. It helps defend e2 in some cases. I have to play this. So black's threatening queen g3. That's not the move I want to play. I'm threatening to force a queen trade. Looking at queen b4, rook d1. Queen c3, rook d3. I mean, I'm really just in survival mode here, trying to not get too long in time as well. Down over a minute. If queens come off the board, I should be fine. That's a good move. F4 is coming. I play this first. Okay, tagging the rook. I do have check. The problem with knight h3 is this move, so I think I have to check first. Unless I have f... No, f4 doesn't work. There's rook d1. Let's check first. It does feel like I'm stabilizing. Like knight e2 and rook ag1. A knight wants to come here, but it's a little bit slow. Okay, black maybe is winning a pawn. But the resulting endgame, imagine takes, I take, rook takes, I take, pawn takes,
Oh yes,
rook h1, rook
Good to
h7.
see you, Eric.
Let's go for this. I'll be in time to play something like rook h5. The rook could come here too. Surprising. Let's take b4. And these pawns are now weak. Okay. Preventing knight d3, attacking the pawn. This pawn's still attacked. Momentum is shifting. Yeah, if d4, I throw in the check first. King c7, then I fork. Or maybe I take first. Oops. Got forked there. This should be fine. Of two pawns. Down a little bit of time. Yeah, now c7 next move. The knight can't come back. Okay. Took some work. Fun game to start the tournament. Kind of stressful game though. Felt like my opponent played really well. Like this knight c4 move I think was really strong. Yeah, knight a4, Engine doesn't like... Also, am I lagging a little bit? Yeah. Sorry if I'm lagging. I think when I turn that engine on, it causes my video to lag. Knight A4 wasn't like terrible. I mean, I was definitely under pressure. Was I ever completely losing? Oh yeah, black should take with a knight to get the knight over. The big problem for black in the game was the knight was kind of stuck on the queen side. And then gradually I was able to consolidate. Rook g5 was not a good square for the rook. Probably should have moved over to f6 to prepare this. And then, yeah, endgame was better for white. Okay, back to tournament. Yeah, when I turn on engine, it slows down the frame rate of the camera. I don't know why. I think I should have asked Santa for like a new streaming setup. I sometimes like record or stream from my Mac, which is actually probably more stable than this setup that I'm on. So I'm playing So What? Gal Berserk, play e4. And try and fulfill some more opening requests. Who was asking for the... Someone was asking for a Stafford. I'll play, I'll go for a 4-night Scotch. I think it was that Chi-Town dude from earlier. I do apologize if I missed any like questions or messages in chat towards the end of the previous game. Sometimes it's hard to keep up. Trying to focus on the game and interact with people. So black kind of conceded the center with knight takes g4. And it's a question, can I deliver some punishment? I'm going to play bishop f4. The plan's to queenside castle and eventually go for e5. Do you know your PC specs? I actually don't. I should know. My current stream setup it's a setup I bought from the Chess Bros. We shared a place for a little bit. And then they had no more need for this. But it's pretty old. It's like maybe 6 years old or something. Okay, life is good. Have some double rook action. Ooh. I don't think I can resist. I also think pawn takes knight is the best line. I'm going to lose my queen. And after takes, if I take the queen, then bishop takes, and white's down material. But I take the bishop, and now it's a fork. And it looks like we're going to get a situation where I'll have rook, knight, and bishop for queen and pawn. It's a cool line. Yeah, oh no, my queen. Well, here I don't need to take the rook because it's trapped. I'm going to play bishop d6. Creating the battery. Threatening to win the rook and then the queen. I don't think there's any defense for black. That's a funny line. Thoughts on Koshrin Gambit? I think I tried playing it recently. Magnus Carlsen played the Koshrin against Ding Liren in some event in St. Louis, but Ding just basically refuted it. Okay, so I didn't win the queen. I can put either rook on the back rank. Where's the mating idea? There's a funny line. Queen takes pawn, and then bishop takes g7. And then neither piece can take without allowing the pin. Yeah. Oh, I had mate in 3. I should have played rook d8. Oops. I was too focused on getting the pin. Oh no, my opponent. Okay. Yeah, rook d8 would have been a little bit more efficient. That was a fun game, though. This e5 plan worked out really well. The pawn went on a rampage. So, couple wins so far. 5 tournament points. Yeah, it might be hard to fight for first, but try and keep it going. Yeah, I could have taken the queen earlier in that game, but it was better to keep taking things with the pawn. So playing this person. I think there's a GM with this last name. I'll play Sicilian. We'll have a c3 Sicilian. Knight a3. Yeah, this is like the more modern, more tricky way of playing. I'll just play e6. Usually the goal is to get some standard setup. Eventually b6 and bishop b7. If knight b5 threatening the triple fork, then I can move back. And bishop f4 is met with knight d5 to defend and attack. Bishop e3 is a move. Yeah, we're still following some theory, like knight b5, queen d8, and then knight takes d4. I actually played this position a few times in Iceland. A couple years ago, I played this against Alapin, and I took on d4, which is not the best move. And then this past year, I had a repeat opening, and I knew knight d5 as like the best move. The idea, of course, is to pressure the bishop. Usually white will take first, although here I might be on my own. In bishop e5, it's a very confrontational move. White's allowing takes. And then there's a line takes, takes. It might be best to start with bishop d7, but I have to calculate. Take, take. Yeah, actually trying to make sense of this line. Takes and then knight takes. Oh, then maybe I take on d1 with the queen. Force this and then this. And then even if the knight saves itself, I don't know how, knight e5, king e7 takes. I'll be up the exchange in that line. If white has to take back with a pawn, then I play bishop d7. I develop bishop e7 castle. I think it should be okay. I'm wondering if this is a move. It's a legal move. I mean, I've analyzed this position with Engine before, and I remember that like knight takes e6 is the best move, so hopefully this is why bishop e5 is not that great. But it's probably still playable. You have to take. Thank you, Kazooie. The first time prime. So now we have a situation where it's 2 bishops against 2 knights. We both have isolated pawns. C pawn's attacked. I mean, c5 makes some sense. Queen b6. I do have to watch out for like queen a4 and knight e5 and putting a lot of pressure against the c pawn. I don't think I want to play c5 and trade queens, because knight would come to b5 and there'd be some issues. Thinking about this move, bishop c5. Feels a little bit weird, but like knight takes pawn and then queen b6. There's also queen c7 here. Queen c7 has the benefit of preparing e5. I'm going to play queen c7. It's really just a matter of trying to figure out where my pieces want to be. I think this is a nice multi-purpose square. Because it also prevents knight e5, like in this position, but also after this, black, or white doesn't have an easy way to add another attacker to c6. And then later, maybe like bishop d6 and build up the center, e5, f5. I still have to choose between bishop here or here. Bishop e7. Mainly because if I played this, I wasn't sure about knight g5 lines with the queen coming in. Bit more safe. Now bishop d7. Yeah, the bishops are not the most active, but I'll save them for later. They'll gradually come out of hibernation. Now castling. Thank you to Tater Salad. Dog Admit asking winning position. I'd say it was like kind of slightly better for black out of the opening, just with the long-term potential of the bishop pair, but winning is a very strong word. If anything, it's slightly better for black. A question, why not bishop b7? Yeah, maybe a move I could have considered. I guess because I'm more looking to play e5, want my bishop on this diagonal. There's also ideas, because I'm just realizing, is rook b8. Rook b8 would have a tricky threat, because it obviously threatens b2. But then if, let's say, b3, I play c5, and then bishop e5 is coming. Yeah, let's start with rook b8. I think black is winning material now. Like c5 kicks away. Oh, wait a minute. c5 doesn't actually threaten the knight, though, because I'm pinned. That's not so simple. And my queen needs to be defended. What is white doing after c5, though? I think it's still a move I want to play. Or maybe I'm threatening like this. Or even like just this. The idea is to try and get rid of the knight so I can skewer the queen and rook. White has time to move the rook. The queen can't move because then I take the knight. Has to stay pinning the pawn. So if rook here, the question is, what is a follow-up? I mean, maybe a bishop will just find a happy diagonal. Might also be plans. Ooh, a4. a4 does prevent bishop e5. Also prepares this move. Queen b7 comes to mind. I like queen b7. Simply getting off the c file, so pawn attacks the knight. I'm probably not winning this pawn immediately, but I'm trying to ensure that it's a long-term weakness. Because once the knight moves, like either here or here, it unleashes a rook to attack the bishop, so queen will be tied down. So probably after knight e2 or knight c2, then bishop c6. I'll create the battery. I'll have a few batteries with the queen. Oh yeah, queen a5 earlier maybe would have left the bishop a bit vulnerable. Okay, so bishop c6. Threatening to take. Also, there's ideas of bishop d5, so even if rook b1, can probably play bishop d5. Question, was rook c8 bad? I assume rook c8 in this position. I think rook c8 would have been fine. Would have also chased the knight away. But like, there might be cases where the rook wants to be here. Like if rook b1, then the d file looks nice and open. Also realizing, like if rook b1, perhaps I can start with this move, bishop e4. Attack the rook, make it move to b2, and then play rook d8. And with this, I cut off the queen from really accessing the king side. I'll be threatening bishop d3, also preventing white from challenging the d file. Yeah, I can see chat. Very often when the game gets intense, and I'll just stop looking at chat, but when the game is slow, then sometimes I can interact and answer questions. So queen takes b3. We'll force a queen trade, almost. There is queen d3 or queen e2. That should be fine. I mean, if white avoids a queen trade, then more pawns could fall. It is a challenge, though, like trying to respond to everyone in chat. I usually try and like address things that are relevant, that especially if there's questions that maybe are beneficial for the overall audience.
Heart.
Thank you, Lanku. So my bishop is attacked. What to do with it? If I take the pawn, there's rook a1. But then bishop e5, and then c4. And then bishop e5, and then take, and then take, and then take, and then take. Be up 2 pawns. Yeah, let's go for it. If white doesn't play c4, then I'll have time to do this or this. Thank you, 926 Andy. Watching from South Dakota. Always have to be careful playing a move like this. leaving the bishop hanging. But okay, knight d7, I take it. Otherwise, yeah, we'll probably get this line, like takes, 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 takes. And e3 will... Oh, e3 won't be attacked because my rook will be on b5. Thank you, Elixia TTV. Why not take the pawn with the rook? Yeah, I assume you're asking about this move. That probably also would have been fine. Then white would take, take, take. I wouldn't win b5 in the end, but I'm sure it would still be good. In this case, I win b5, so white doesn't have any like annoying pass pawns. Question from Mozart MC. How do you clear all drawings like that? Oh, I just click an empty square. You could like draw over to undo the arrows, but that would be inefficient. So if I make a lot of like artwork, I just click emptiness and it'll go away. To make the circles and arrows, I right click. Okay, we'll simplify. Yeah, we'll trade these pawns. Question from Michael Wijaya. If I have to pay entry fees for tournaments. Most tournaments do, I mean, for the average player, most tournaments require players to pay entry fees. But I will say, like, most of the tournaments I play in these days, I don't pay entry fee because there's like conditions for title players. Usually when I play at St. Louis Chess Club, tournaments are free for IMs and GMs. But when I played in Qatar, there was an entry fee there. So it can depend on the tournament. All right, so pawn's defended. White wants to take here. Will be tricky. Oh no, my pawn. Hey, it's Wolfsweg getting merch.
Love
And
your
donating
Beat the Master
$10.
Series. Learned so much.
Oh, that's super kind.
From Berlin, Germany.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate that. Okay, took some work. We got interesting line in the Alapin Sicilian. Quickly look at this position. Bishop b5. So white's actually fine here. Oh, also, yeah, the frame rate on the camera is now affected. Somehow, like, the engine plus OBS just overwhelms my computer. So fe3. Oh, fe3 should have been played here, and then queen a4. Close to equal. Okay. Okay, back to tournament. Oh, playing Obese Reese. Obese Reese won the last time we played. Okay, I suppressed that game from my memory. We had a draw not too long ago. Trying to remember what opening to expect against Sicilian. Smith-Morra. I'll play this line, bishop b4. And then, what's the line? 97? I think I played the same opening yesterday against someone. It may have been titled Tuesday, but my opponent had put the bishop on d3. The bishop on c4 is a bit more logical. I mean, maybe it still makes sense to take and play d5. Get tempo on the bishop. Let's do it. So I'm up a pawn. It's a Smith-Morra Gambit accepted. Be a dangerous opening, especially against Mark Esserman. I don't think I've played this exact line against Esserman before. I played a different line against him. So white has a bishop pair. Bishop d3 probably coming. Actually looks okay though. Like f6 was not a huge concession as long as I'm like obstructing the diagonal. And I have the light squared bishop to try and like fill in the light squares. I got some Esserman emotes in chat. FB3 the third. Okay, so if I castle, I guess castling could run into this move. If I play this first, there might be some drawbacks with whatever option I choose. There's an interesting line I'm actually wondering about. I'm going to go for this. This was the first move that came to my mind, but then I was hesitant to play it because this. But if we see queen c2, then I have an idea. Thank you, Patrick VF. Happy 11. Ooh. Yeah, queen c2, I was going to play king h8. But white's just going for the kitchen sink attack. Throw everything at me. I have queen e8, preventing queen h5. There's also this move, knight e5. Which maybe makes a bit more sense. Knight e5, bishop moves. Go for this. It's nice being up a pawn here, because it's really up to white to try and prove the initiative. I think I'll play this. Bishop e6. So now there's no more queen h5. There's f4, but then knight c4 comes with tempo. Or knight g4. And some harmony with the pieces. Oh, goodbye to bunny cubes. Good luck in your tournament tomorrow. Rook e1. Yeah, I have a lot of things on the e-file. It might be targeted. Queen d7 looks natural. If ever this, I have some b5 move. I'm also covering f5 another time, so maybe I can play knight g6 soon. And then there's no knight f5. Wait, did I just miss g5? I should have considered g5. Trying to trap the knight. Maybe there'd be f4. Yeah, actually g5, f4, it's kind of messy. Queen b1. I still have g5 to consider. Also g6. Also king h8. King h8. Not super clear, but maybe an option. And this is just safest. Not really the move I want to play, but it obstructs the battery. And time has been level for the most part. And if this, I play this. And this, I play this. Thank you, Tom Kitching.
Thank you for the content. Got to my best, albeit still modest blitz rating today.
Let's
Have
go.
learned much.
Been hearing that sort of comment a lot lately. Very nice to hear. Keep it up, Tom. Thank you, Piano Josh, the first time prime. A question from Douglas. Why don't you move the rook to the something like e8 or d8 if the bishop attacks it? Oh, like in the event of this. Well, now it's too late. But also I like the rook kind of helping cover h7 because I still might want to play g5. Also, I'm very surprised we're going into this because I have this move. There might be f5, but then wait, take. No, that's fine. Yeah, maybe knight g4 is missed, hitting the bishop. I can't take the bishop because then pawn takes, I get forked. But I can probably start with either knight or bishop takes. And knight takes. I think we'll be trading queens. Bishop takes. I'll be up 2 pawns. My pawn structure won't be the prettiest, but 2 pawns is 2 pawns. It'd be nice to check the king with my queen, but also we don't see the immediate trade of bishops. So I probably just take and fight for the e-file. I'm sure that like earlier if I wanted to play rook e8 or d8 instead of rook f7, it would have been fine. The nice thing, another nice thing with having the rook here is I can more easily double up. Rook f1 may be coming. Yeah, so I'm threatening this. Knight really wants to be on e4. Some potential to trap the bishop. Queen c6. Queen c6 to start. Defending the pawn. I do have to watch my time. At this point, I probably want to look for ways to simplify. d4 on the horizon. Maybe I should have considered like knight here and then rook e2 as well. That could combine well with d4. Target g2. Yeah, like d4 here. Calculating this, never mind. If I take d3 also playable, I'll go for d3 and maybe knight c4. The knight's pinned, but okay, king g7 at some point, and b5. Rook e2 on tap. I'm just trying to keep things controlled. Yeah, threatening mate. Oh, I'm very close to g5 checkmate. Not quite, though.
Happy holy days. And greetings from Austria, the country where the Vienna game should be played more often.
Amen.
Smile.
Okay, good game, Obese Reese. We went into... Yeah, interesting line. I'm not sure if bishop g5 is actually the best approach for white. Like, I vaguely remember queen c2 or queen e2. Also trying to remember, like, in Reykjavik, I think I ran into... It was either knight b5 or bishop f4. There's a lot of moves white can consider going for in this position. I mean, one of the best ways to learn this opening is to just reference Esserman's games. Like, copy the username, Mark Esserman, and then see what he does. So he's had this position over 200 times on Lichess. And he's actually gone through a few different moves, but queen c2 is his choice. And this is probably one of the best ways to like learn the Smith-Morra, either buy his book or learn his opening tree on Lichess. Oh, knight d5. Yeah, knight d5 is playable. Engine maybe doesn't like it, but I mean, minus 0.7 for sacking a piece is not that bad. Wow. Yeah, this actually looks kind of scary. Anyway, let's move on. Top 40. Played 4 games so far. Leader has... So I have 13 points. Leader has 32 points. 85 minutes left. How long did it take you to become an IM? About 21 years. I was born in 93. I became an IM in... Actually, I became an IM in 2015. So I guess it was about 22 years. But I learned how to play chess at 7, so... It still took a while. Alright, I'll play e4 this game. I already played a 4-night Scotch. I know someone was asking for Ponziani. How many people in chat like to play the Ponziani? It's gotta be at least a few. I do have a lot of content on YouTube preaching this opening, or teaching in this opening. Preaching, teaching, kind of same thing. Yeah, we got some Ponziani lovers. Oops. This is a Ponziani lovers. Usually a good sign when the opponent takes time after c3. d5 is one of the best moves. d5 is one of the few moves in Ponziani where white can't respond with d4. Like against this, or this, or this, or this. You always play d4. But, yeah, d5 calls for queen a4. Knight f6. This is what, it's what Fiddler played against Hikaru way back when. Now I have to remember. I think pawn, knight takes pawn. It's not the most common move, though. I think the best way for black to play now is to Gambit. So we'll see what my opponent wants to do. I mean, a lot of people take here, which is not a good move, because it allows for knight takes, and white's already much better there. The main line is f6. Queen d6 also playable. And if black hasn't studied this, which it seems like my opponent hasn't, then I was going to say it might be hard to figure out the best move. Pretty sure the best move is bishop d6. Queen d6. It's logical. Attacks and defends. Probably want to play d4 here. I could consider taking, actually. Queen can't take. Pawn would have to take. And then d3. I guess I should compare the lines. So takes, d3 is one option. Looks solid. I'll be up a pawn there. The other option is d4. I allow one of these things to take, and then bishop f4 would be the idea. So is it worth giving back the pawn to get the initiative? And let's imagine knight takes. Bishop f4, queen f6. Let's go for it. Not 100% sure, but it looks fun. I'm trying to exploit the queen being a little bit precarious on d6. Like one line I'm looking at is knight takes e4, bishop f4, queen f6, I take, pawn takes. And then rather than saving the bishop, just attacked by the queen, I play f3. With the idea that if the queen takes the bishop, I take on c6, hitting the king and rook. Bishop d7, I mate. King moves. And then I don't know if I want to take the rook because queen e3, bishop e2, queen f2, king d1. But maybe that's fine. I'd still attack the knight. I'd also take the knight. But there's a chance that black won't even play the first move of that variation. Like, black could also take with a pawn. But if pawn takes, then the issue is after bishop f4, there's not a healthy square for the queen. Because queen here runs into bishop c4 with a skewer. There's already the pin against the knight. So bishops will kind of crisscross. Hello to Jolly Boy. Are pawns considered dwarfs? Maybe. Yeah, pawns are basically dwarf bishops. Anyway, yeah, to reiterate, the plan is queen f6, f3. Ooh. Wow. I kind of forgot that black could just leave the queen on d6. If I take either of these things and my bishop hangs, bishop e5. Bishop e5 is probably the go-to move. I mean, gotta develop and get ready to castle. Tension's building. If takes, then I have a choice what to take back with. Even take here first. And a6 won't immediately threaten the rook. Welcome back to Shawarma. How's it going? Yeah, the discoveries didn't really work. Like even I didn't even consider this move. The knight of 7, queen takes f4, and f2 would be attacked. The nice thing is that I've developed pretty efficiently, applying a lot of pressure. Time is on my side. I'm still not sure if I'm threatening anything. I might just be threatening to get my king safe. Not the biggest threat. Yeah, the issue with knight g6 is then queen takes g6. It defends the bishop, but allows the knight to be taken. So opponent deliberating. Okay, so what to do here? If I take on e5, queen has to move. Queen is probably kind of tied down to the bishop. Take with pawn. Taking with pawn just seems wrong, though. Because then it just blocks my bishop. There might be lines where I win c7, too. Let's take with bishop. Are we going to see... No, queen b6 would lose the bishop. Probably black has to play one of these moves. If bishop takes b5, I take back. Queen d7, I take on b7. I think I'm winning a pawn here. Queen c6, I take and then take. So that was a big transformation of the position. Basically, all the tension has been released, and I'm up a pawn. Life is pretty good. Probably now a matter of completing development. It's nice I'm controlling b8. c5 might be coming. So it's a question, do I want to stop c5? And maybe I do. Like maybe b4, a nice positional move. And the drawback of b4 is, for example, rook c8, bishop g3, a5. So I might end up just leaving the bishop on a5. And then eventually knight b3, get the rooks in. But I'm trying to clamp down on the fact that this pawn is a bit backwards. Yeah, king f2. Only one open file, so probably want to play rook e1 soon. How long have you been breathing air? Over 30 years. There's times where I take small breaks. The breaks usually don't last for more than a minute. Okay, if I play this, does a5 and like really do anything? Does a3? Yeah, let's keep the bishop on a happier diagonal. Now can I take the pawn? If I take their c5. Okay, let's play a3. Oh, there was a question why king f2 and not castling. Because queens are off the board, I actually prefer my king to be closer to the center, where it can be a bit more useful. I'm not really scared of it being attacked anymore. It's a very common, like, slight mistake I see among low-rated players is castling in situations where you can just move your king up. Usually occurs in queenless middle games or towards the end game. Yeah, like if the king were on g1, then bishop e3 would be possible, or rook e3. But it's, yeah, helping control e3 and g3. Like in the opening, you want to treat your king as a baby, protect it as much as possible. But then later in the game, the baby grows up and can explore the world. And now the plan is probably knight a5, tie down the rook.
Hi Eric, watch 10x Ma.
Hello. Eczema. I don't know what that is. Eczema. Sounds like Xmas. Also, okay, let's keep moving. Welcome back, streams on Twitch. Shawarma asking for blindfold chess. Not during this tournament. I don't want to be risking my precious rapid rating. Maybe in the future, though. I do have my blindfold. It's hasn't been used in a while. Sometimes I use it as a sleeping mask. Okay, how to make progress. I take... Don't want to allow the bishop to come to d2. Play this. I'm thinking knight d6 and rook e8 as one plan. If rook a8, I'd probably just move back. I have rook e8 now. Rook e8, I have to be careful of like some discover checks. I guess I can play rook e8 and then king f5. The bishop can't check the king on the light square. And this is now a threat. Okay. Whoa, streams on Twitch, gifting 10. Thanks so much. That's super kind. Got a nice Ponziani win that game. Yeah, bishop d6 is, I think, the best move. And the most notable game here is Hikaru against Fiddler. There's some video on YouTube, I think it was from the broadcast of whatever tournament they played. And the video is of them like analyzing the game after the fact. And it's just half an hour of them going into like very deep analysis, stemming mainly from bishop g4. But they played a very clean game. So was I wasn't right in playing d4. d4 is still the second best move, but engine likes takes and d3. Oh, streams on Twitch meant Xmas movie. I actually haven't seen really any movies recently. So no. I think it's been like many years since I've been to a movie theater. Okay, let's keep it going. Top 30 now. 20 points out of first. Gonna be hard to make up. Why did you disable choose opening request? I just got too many and I felt bad I couldn't like fulfill all of them. Somewhere I have the queue. I think it's here. Yeah, here's my opening request queue. I still haven't fulfilled them. I can probably refund the channel points to people who requested them. Okay, let's play Sicilian here. Ooh, another Smith-Morra. So I played this earlier against Obese Reese. This bishop b4 line. I used to play queen c7 instead of bishop b4. I wonder if my opponent was watching the analysis earlier. I think I'll go into the same line, like takes and d5. I like the position that I got. Maybe I'll get to play that idea that I was considering that I didn't quite get to play against obese Reese. After takes, bishop here, castle, queen c2. There's a move that I don't think I even explained after the game. Question, have you ever played the O'Neill Gambit? I don't think I know what that is. This is iced coffee. Yeah, I have a lot of it. About halfway through. Also have water. It's going to take some work to consume all my beverages this stream. Yeah, there's a lot of gambits that I don't really recognize by name, so sometimes when people ask if I played a certain gambit, it helps if you share the exact moves. Oh, shout out to my opponent who's also streaming. Yeah, I didn't even know this. Okay, playing a fellow streamer. Bishop d3, castling. So they probably weren't watching my game against Obese Reese from earlier. They don't know that I had this exact position. Obese Reese played this move. Bishop c5 is, it's aggressive looking. I think I'd like to play b6 and just kick the bishop. Bishop a3 and then probably rook f7. Yeah, I'll start with b6. Thanks to the new Prime subs. I appreciate that. Okay, let's try and figure out what to do here. Knight's pinned. Rook f7 looks logical. It's very similar to the game I played earlier still. I guess rook f7, there's a c4 move, but then d4 should be okay. And if queen c2, my idea would be to play king h8, allow bishop takes h7, and play f5. Although here maybe it doesn't quite work because knight g5. Attacking the rook and defending the bishop. Yeah, thanks to either Spark, Sneezing Serpent, and Wayfaring Wayfarer. All subbing with Prime. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm actually more inclined to play G6 here. Diffuse the battery. G5 also maybe a move. Nice thing about G6, I'm going to play it, is it prepares bishop f5. And then, I mean, if I can just trade off bishops, then my king side is going to be super solid. And then this bishop would be staring into empty space. Thank you, Mortal Wombat, with a tier 1. A lot of new subs. Do appreciate it. Yeah, let's go for this.
Happy holidays and hoping you are good,
Welcome
Eric.
back, Fang Duster.
Sending warm greetings from Liverpool during what I am hearing is a quite frigid Midwest.
Yeah, weather has gotten a bit colder. A few days ago it was like nice, sunny, mid-60s Fahrenheit. Like sweater weather. Today it was snowing. There was actually pretty heavy snow. Took a short walk outside. It was raining like early this morning, but eventually the rain turned into snow. And the one thing I have to be careful about in this position is my d-pawn. It takes, rook a d1, and maybe rook d7. Okay, rook d1 immediately. I'll still go for the trade. I just want to put the rook on d8. c4 is a move. c4, rook d8. I think it's holding on. I mean, white does have some pretty good piece harmony. Like the rooks and queen and maybe knight they do seem optimized. Maybe the knight can be improved. Even the bishop. Bishop exerts some pressure. Okay, white's trying to improve the knight. Now this move does allow me to play knight e5. Attacking the queen. Let's go for it. And the c4 square could be a nice post for the knight. We get to play this or this. And there's a lot of squares a queen can move to, which will get kicked again by the other knight. Queen e2, okay. I guess white maybe wants to play this and this. I think I'd like to start with knight f5. Just removing the knight as a target. Maybe queen a4 is an idea. c4. So if I take, then takes, my queen's hit. But I have the move d4 here, which looks very nice. And it's still an isolated pawn, but it's a passed pawn. Well defended. Rook d8's probably on its way. And then d3 coming too. A move like f4 would allow some knight e3 eventually. Okay, I have a choice here. Knight c6 is an option. Taking. I don't think d3 works because takes. I mean, the simplest might be just a take and rook d8. Pawn's defended 3 times. Yeah, at some point I probably want to find a better place for the queen. Like now I do have queen a4. Which I guess, okay, the bishop's defended, but would hit the pawn. There's also queen c7. There's knight h4. White wants to do this and win the pawn somehow. I think
Hi
just
Eric,
queen,
hi chat, hope
queen
everybody
c7.
had a wonderful Christmas.
Oh, same to you. Nuddlesbeer. Welcome back. Happy 26. There's a comment from streams on Twitch. Position looks awfully similar to what I had on stream yesterday. I'm trying to remember yesterday. And the opening was similar to what I had a few games ago against Obese Race. c5 might be coming. And now I can play this. Control the file, control the center. Sometimes you have to be careful putting your queen smack in the center. It's not easy for black to actually attack it. And maybe there's some back rank ideas coming. One plan might be to shift both rooks to the c file, go after the c pawn. And this rook wasn't doing much on f7. I do have to be careful of my pieces all on dark squares, at least all my heavy pieces. But this looks fine. And if I can take on c4, it defends d4. Oh, there's g4 as a move, which I forgot about. But then knight h4, queen g3. Yeah, white could have maybe tried g4 there. It's still an idea.
Love your content.
I love you
Just
too.
exited the tournament with 22 points.
Nice to hear. Oh, this tournament. A daily rapid. I think that's higher than me. I'm outside the top 20. So there's a line I'm looking at. g4, knight h4, queen g3, takes, pawn takes. Looks like my knight's trapped. But then I have this move. And bishop d4. And knight g2. It doesn't look right, though. I have to check after the game if white could have gotten away with g4. Now, I mean, queen c7. I'm up 2 pawns, so we'll be safe. I'll probably end up giving this pawn back. If queen d5, I can play queen f7. Thank you, Tebert08 with a prime for 6 months.
Greetings from Australia.
Greetings. Greetings to Krell. It's probably already tomorrow in Australia. All greetings to the future from the past. Okay, what's my plan? Kick around the queen. I don't think I'm saving the pawn.
Grow etches out Nederland.
Oh yeah, shout out to Netherlands. Shout out to WGM Adriana. Appreciate the raid. If you're just joining, I'm playing some daily rapid arena. It's instructive rapid chess. Hope you had a good stream, Adriana. And a good holiday as well. Yeah, white won back the pawn. So I guess we'll trade and I'll just be patient here. I'm probably going to win this game on time. Shout out to Adriana. Yeah, let's try and go after the a pawn. Ooh, It's not quite mate, though. Like king, no. Okay, I'll threaten checkmate in 1. H5. Ooh. I wanted to checkmate with a king. It was like queen G, yeah, queen G2 and king G1 checkmate, but what to do? Okay, good game to my opponent. Yeah, there's another Smith-Morra line. I'm pretty sure taking on C3 is best. Engine says it's playable for both sides. Oh, bishop G4 apparently was better. Yeah, engine says it was like roughly equal out of the opening. I think I messed up the analysis. It was running, but now it's running again.
Hope you've had a great Christmas holiday.
Thank you, Pons. Same to you. A few blunders made this game. Oh, I had knight d4. Knight d4 would have been nice. And then knight c2 with a fork. Okay. Let's move on. I explained the line with king h8. Oh yeah, real quick. I don't know if it's like the best line, but if queen c2, the plan was to play king h8, allow takes, and then play f5. Apparently this is better for white, so yeah, I think I would have missed knight g5. And I'm not actually winning the bishop. If anything, I'm getting attacked, like f4 coming, and it's probably not good. So the engine prefers bishop g4 immediately, maybe preparing this. And then there might be ideas of bringing the bishop back. Okay. Moving on. Top 30. Yeah, I don't think I have good chances to win this tournament. Leader has 37. Even if I berserk win 3 more games, it's not enough to catch up. Yeah, maybe the finish to that last game wasn't the most necessary. Oh, playing obese Reese again. Let's play knight f3. I'll mix up the opening. Not sure if I played against obese Reese. Obese Reese sharing a smiley face in chat. Good luck. Let's play b3. Thank you, Adazor. The first time prime. Goes d4.
Go Reese.
I actually don't know the theory here. Bishop e2, I guess. Yeah, go Reese. But stay there. Okay, so I'm playing some very solid formation. Black is too. Like, we both have super solid positions. I think the plan going forward is to keep being solid. Like h3 can be useful sometimes. Eventually c4. Maybe the gradual expansion with a3, b4. Actually trying to figure out what black wants to do here. E5. I guess I'll play h3, preventing any like e5 knight g4 shenanigans. E5 is restricted. With these last two moves, it's pretty clear that black wants to go for this break. Okay, so I have the option of taking. Takes, knight g5. Probably knight f6. f3 comes to mind. Black probably has to take there. Takes back. Looks playable. Could also play c4 and just leave all the tension. I'll play c4. Trying to be non-committal. Thank you, Sean ZZ. Another first-time sub. Yeah, we might see knight f6. We might see a trade on d2. I don't think e5 works here. Because I think after like all the trades, like takes, even starting with takes. It's a question of move order though. E5, I could start with taking with pawn. A lot of branches to calculate. Actually, a big difference between going for c4 and knight takes e4 is the fact that I'm giving choices to black, and black doesn't have like easy decisions. Queen a5, so maybe preparing this move. I also don't have easy decisions. Like I can again take on e4 and play knight d2. Rook c1 comes to mind. Queen c1. Maybe just queen c2. Man, it's probably the most typical square for the queen in these positions. And bishop f5 can't come immediately. And even if it does come, then can probably neutralize with bishop d3. Ideally, I'd like to exploit the queen on a5, like go for a3, b4. I mean, maybe takes eventually in bishop c3. I'm threatening to take and win a pawn. Wow, e5. Now I have to try and understand this move. So if I take the knight, black takes, I take. White wins a pawn. There's f5, I move back. e4, I move back. Should be okay, though. Yeah, I'm going to accept the the free material. I might get punished, but I might also just be winning a pawn for free. I mean, this setup it's so solid. Like d4 is defended so many times. Maybe there's some attempt to exploit the e-file, but and the problem for black after I take, the pawn is pinned to the rook, which is not defended. I mean, black does have initiative. This knight f6, attacking the queen and defending the rook. If I move back this way, there is bishop f5. And queen c3. I think it should be fine. Of course, bishop f5, bishop d3 runs into e4. But something like queen c3, offering the trade, should be okay. Thank you, Mini Alex, for all the bits. And D-Fox for the 19 months. I mean, so far this game has been a matter of being like super solid, grabbing the pawn and now going back to trying to be solid. Thank you to Henry Webster Plays Violin. Another first time prime. Okay, I think taking with knight is probably most desirable because I prevent bishop f5. I do allow queen g5. But okay, queen g5, I have responses. Okay, knight. This looks nice. I guess this move is maybe coming. Calculating bishop f5, queen c3. Let's say the queen moves. I think queen moves to either square. I play rook ad1. And the only discovery is to move here to defend the bishop. But then I move back to c1. And meanwhile, I'll be threatening knight d6. Play rook d1. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword along this long diagonal. Oh, I might be, I'm actually threatening to trap the queen with rook d6. It's a fancy queen trap, controlling all these squares. So a6 doesn't really help. Rook d8 is probably the best move. If we trade... This move also comes to mind. I don't think I want to overthink things too much here, though. And just take some queen c1. And prepare rook d1. Yeah, upping the tempo a little bit. Ideally, I'd like to get like bishop f3 and knight d5 somehow. Bishop f3. The one thing I have to be careful of is bishop takes h3. Knight d5. I'll go for knight d5. Really just trying to simplify further. Yeah, this is probably going to force a trade of knights and bishops. Or at least one or the other. If bishop takes b2, I take, and then take, and then take with check, and then take. I'll be up a pawn there in the end. If the queen moves, let's say queen d6. Ooh. Yeah, let's go for this. So now it's 4-on-2 on the king side for me, but 3-on-2 for black on the queen side. Do I have b4 here? I think b4 might win the pawn. Oh no, b4, rook's defended. b4 just takes. Oh, this move, bishop f3. This is probably the way to go. Attacking the pawn. If b6, I play bishop b7, hitting these things. And now I can play b4, because rook's no longer defended. If c4, I check and win. Oh, but then bishop e6. It's still not simple. So how about I start with this? And take. I guess trading bishops makes sense. And just get the king in. Black's king is a little bit more active, but it should be okay. It better be okay. Yeah, like f4. f4 king there, and then rook d1. Maybe this first. Rooks on open files have smiles. Hmm. And my opponent's definitely making use of his pawn majority before I'm making use of my pawn majority. But hopefully the tables will turn soon. Like now I have this move. I'm pretty sure the king has to move back. If it moves forward, I play g4 and then mate is unstoppable. I'll probably king d2. Although then check how to do this. Maybe I take. King d2. I have to be really careful here. King pawn ending should be okay, I think. Take, king d5, king d3, b4, g4, a4. F5, B3, take A3, King C3. Yeah, that's fine. Rook C2, Rook D2. Okay, and time has leveled too. Okay, G4 would blunder a rook, but thankfully I'm somewhat alert here. Play this. Yeah, Obesri's put up a lot of resistance this game. Still resisting. Yeah, good try. Okay. I think Obesri's was debating whether to play King H1. I mean, I was going to play Queen G4, but it was better to take the queen and go for the dirty flag there. Okay, good game. That was a long one. Yeah, I think E5 was a critical mistake. It took a long time to convert the extra pawn, though. So best move was to take... Oh, take and then play E5. Yeah, this is close to equal. Maybe white slightly better after this. Okay. We move on. Yeah, hovering around 27. Oh, playing
Great
Art-Vega.
to catch you live.
We've only played once before. Art-Vega is a fellow streamer. Shout out to Art-Vega. We've raided each other a few times over the years. Okay, I'm going to play the Barmen variation, knight BD7. And we'll have a Cambridge Springs. Oh, Art-Vega's leading the tournament. Wow. Okay, so with knight D2, yeah, this is one of the main lines. Queen C2, E5. We'll see how prepared my opponent is. Thank you to Marco Lo Polo Yolo. Marco Rolo Polo Yolo. Nice name. Happy 11 months. Goodbye to Nate Brady. Thanks for stopping by. Knight B3 is a move. I think with Knight B3, I'm supposed to play this. Oh, Art-Vega no longer in first. Art-Vega needs to beat me to reclaim first place. Man, I'm just going to try and play like good chess here. A3. There's a few options. I could take here. Bishop D6. to try and remember the prep. I think taking in the knight e4 actually looks like pretty decent. Even g5 like could be kind of crazy. g5 h5. I'm gonna go for it. It's a very thematic idea. And you see this a lot in like Nimzo-Indians or Rogozins, but also Cambridge Springs. These early kingside pawn thrusts. And now if f3 or h pawn moves, the idea is to take and then take and hit g3, the discovery along the diagonal. Meanwhile, white could trade on e5 a bunch of times, but then the queen will centralize. I have some vague memory of maybe Kamsky-Kramnik or Kramnik-Kamsky entered some similar variation. And not too often you can do this in the opening as black, just thrusting all the pawns forward, especially with this tension in the center. It's all about exploiting the bishop. That's logical. I think I have to take. So I'm hitting c3 now. Oh, that's also logical. Might have to play f6. I could also take. It's not as exciting. When I play f6, I am threatening to trap the bishop. Because the problem is f3. Let's play f6. If f3, maybe I take. Take, hitting the bishop. Takes. I don't take back immediately. I play h4. Forcing the bishop back, and then I take. And my knight's on c3, rook c1 happens. Knight b4. Interesting position. If I'm not losing a pawn, I'll be controlling the center. Like, we both have ideas of going into each other's cribs via g3 or g6. So I might want to play like king f7. Could be a useful move. Okay, so with this, yeah, I think I have to take. I don't think I can afford to take and allow queen g6. Hit the bishop. And again, the idea is after takes, I don't take back. I play the in-between move on h4. White could play e6, but then I take, and there's a pin. This might be the last game that counts for the tournament for both of us. It is guaranteed to count for the tournament. Ooh. King d2. I don't think this changes much. It does give me the option of taking, which I probably don't want to do. I guess there is an issue.
Hello.
Of a4 happening. I have to play knight b5. I mean, if a4 immediately, I play this and then takes and then check, then regain the pawn. So if white starts with taking, I play h4, then a4, and then it's kind of a mess. Like takes, take on h2, take, rook h1, take. I could queenside castle in the end there. I have to play h4 here. After a4, I also have knight c7. And then like this move runs into takes. I guess there's bishop d6 there. Wow. You have to take. Okay, so things have kind of stabilized. Not getting the pawn center. I do have an isolated pawn. Yeah, I probably want to make use of this c4 square. I mean, knight d4. If we trade knights, the position could get like pretty drawish. Although black's probably for choice there because this bishop is pretty sad. White probably wants to play this and then get the d4 square for the knight. Then I can get the c4 square for my knight. And it's hard for the bishop to find a life.
Big love.
Thanks for the love. Thanks many people for the love.
Love.
Amen. Thinking king e7 here. Connecting the rooks. Because king c7 runs into knight c5. Thank you, Swarma, for the 500. So much love.
More love.
Appreciate it. So many love alerts in a row. I don't think I've ever felt so loved. Feeling good in the position. Up on time. Like maybe white will consider e4, but seems to be a bit weakening. We do see knight c5. Now b6 looks like the go-to move. Because I don't mind if the bishop comes off the board. In a situation of knight versus bishop, I'm going to establish knight on c4. Be a very strong outpost. If I take... Maybe taking isn't the best. Oh, let's play knight d6. I was thinking about taking and trying to exploit the fact that rook's tied down. Isn't a bishop more powerful in endgames versus a knight? In most cases, yes, but there's always exceptions. Knight b2. Discouraging knight c4. I mean, I could still play it. I might just put the ball back in white's court. See what white is up to here. a4. I mean, rook c5 is an attractive looking move, but runs into this. I could play a5. Like fixing the pawn. That weakens b6. So maybe just this move. Maybe f5. A little bit torn of like what to do here. What about this move? Even I'll go for this move. Realizing I just gave the bishop a square. But if takes, then okay, I can infiltrate with the rook. H3 was probably not a good move. Like instant regret. Knight c4, take. And one of the ideas is to like get in this and then 94. I feel like I really misplayed it the last couple moves. It's still maybe okay. Like my pieces are more active. King e6 and g4 maybe coming. G4 immediately walks into this. Well, I can't play rook g1 because rook c2. Yeah, it should still be okay. Maybe I should have taken, but this looks fine. A6 probably coming. I don't think white has time to play e4. And now knight c4 looks more attractive, supported by both pawns. Oh, there's a question about en passant. Yeah, en passant, it looks like it should be possible after g4, but not when the pawn's on the third rank, only when it's on the fourth rank. So, now knight c4. I probably do want to take. Not crystal clear. King here first. G4. I'm actually trying to now target the white king. With knight on c4 and bishop coming in, like I'm controlling dark squares and light squares. A lot of squares in white's territory. Got the rooks to the king side. Knight's gonna find the square. And there's bishop g4. And this first. There's a trap, bishop g3 take, and then I promote. Like in the line here. Oh, just hang that. I have king c5. Yeah, now the knight's trapped. I didn't see a7 was hanging though. The bishop is a little bit slow to rescue the knight. Or is it? Okay, 7. Start by checking. Yeah, probably just best to go after the king. The king has to move back to one of these squares. Actually, it has to move here, otherwise I win this. Unless it moves here. Check and then bishop e1. Okay, now I'll win the rook. Whoa, that scared me. That's almost checkmate, man.
Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas. I had a drop in my stomach there after bishop e7. It's never over till it's over. Yeah, I'm actually losing the knight, but I'll still be up to exchange. Okay. This is, I think, the last game for the tournament. Good game. Interesting fight. Very, very interesting opening, too. It was fun to play this line. I mean, one of the sharper lines that can emerge from the Cambridge Springs. E5 has been my go-to move, even though it's not the most common. Also, thank you, endgames are tricky. Yeah, even that endgame was pretty tricky. I feel like I almost got mated there. The game review is crunching. I guess we can see the final standings. I think I prevented my opponent from taking first place. But even if they won, yeah, good job to Daddy Cool. 57 points. Also, thank you, Mandobrook. Happy 33. Where do you recommend studying chess if you are 1850? Everyone's different. Everyone has like different resources that work well for them. So part of finding the right things to study is kind of experimenting on your own and seeing what works and being self-aware. It helps to have balance too. Like it helps to kind of have a balance between playing chess, solving, looking at top level games, or like watching top level commentary. A lot of things to kind of stay involved in chess and learn from. Reading books. Okay, tournament's over. I do want to like at least quickly analyze the last game. Had over 1,300 players here. Yeah, so this position, I mean, knight d2 is the most common move against Cambridge Springs. Bishop b4, queen c2, e5 is, yeah, definitely a sideline. It's actually the line that scores the best for black in terms of win percentage. And yeah, knight b3 is one of the main moves. Ah, so there was a Kramnik-Kamsky game that followed this exact line. Let me open this up in a new tab. This was played in 1993, the year I was born. And Kramnik beat Kamsky. Two famous legends battling, what, 30 years ago. Bishop e2 was played. I think in this position, knight e4 should be the improvement. And 1993 was a time that chess engines were not that strong. Even before Deep Blue. Let's see, 94, bishop here, g5. Yeah, engine's already like saying it's not worse for black. And white has to be like super careful too. h5. So what did white play in this game? a3. I still went for this idea. Like takes 94. Bishop h4, g5. Yeah, it was a fun approach. It was actually like pretty clean game. I made one inaccuracy like, towards the end. A pretty clean game for both of us. My opponent apparently just made one mistake. And the main inaccuracy was here. King d2. I didn't even consider knight a4. White was supposed to play h4. I guess has some logic to it. Nova Spot asking, what would you recommend to play against d4? I'm 2200 to 2300 Lee Chess Rapid. Yeah, I've been working on like a lot of analysis, which will hopefully eventually turn into a course. It's taken way longer than I initially planned for, but it's a repertoire around the Cambridge Springs. This is an opening that, at least when I first learned it, I kind of viewed it as a one-trick opening where, like, one of the main tricks is if bishop d3, then there's takes knight e4. But there's a lot of, like, interesting lines beyond just this. And there's also just a lot of lines where, I mean, white will fall into traps, combining the pin and the bishop exploited on g5. But I think the key to learning what to do against d4 is understanding that it's not just a matter of learning one opening. Like, learning the Cambridge Springs will only help you in this exact sequence of moves. But it's more about kind of learning the branches. Like, starting with this as a Barmen variation, and from here white can take, white can play e3, white has bishop f4, so there's a few things you do need to be ready for.
Do you have any OTB tournaments coming up in the new year?
Good question. There's a lot on my radar. I will be announcing something soon. But yeah, in terms of like over the board classical tournaments, I don't know what the next one will be. I mean, Reykjavik Open is on my radar. Quirgero, Norway, February. But I have not planned much for the new year. Also, thank you, Bizzle. Happy 26. I might start learning the Cambridge Springs just because of its name. And maybe wait until springtime. Wait for the season. I mean, one thing is if white takes early on d5, you can't play the same opening. Like, this plan doesn't work because the rank is closed. So this is another opening you have to be ready for. Are tournaments something you plan out or you join last minute? Most tournaments I try and plan in advance. There's local tournaments at the St. Louis Chess Club that sometimes I'll choose to join last minute. I played a few recently. There's some holiday tournaments. Okay, I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks everyone for watching. And this whole stream will probably go on the extra channel. Shout out to that channel. Stay tuned for more speedrun content.